We are here with the family of Lashaunda Spurlock, who was last seen in Shearwell, South Carolina on April 29th, 2024. Can you tell us a little bit about Lashaunda?
Okay, so my sister, Lashaunda, can I show her?
Please.
Okay, let's see, I'm 42, 41, so she was 41 when she went missing, if I'm not mistaken. But 41, she has a daughter. Her daughter is 24. She'll be 25 this year. So she went missing last year from her house. So she apparently had been talking to some guys online, something that she's been known to do that we've always been against. Like, we don't like it. We never recommended it. We wanted her to stop. But so she was talking to some guys, and apparently I wasn't there. I live in Charlotte. So apparently my mom was in the house, or she was in the house. And my sister, well, to back up, my sister never leaves the house to go anywhere, and especially for an extended amount of time, without saying something. She would always tell my mom, because my mom and her lived together. She would always let my mom know, hey, I'm going XYZ, because she's a grown woman, but she would, just tell somebody where she was, I'm going with such and such, and she'll say who. This time it was very strange because it was almost like she snuck out. So that was the first eye raise, like, why would you sneak out? So my mom said she was in the house moving around, and prior to her leaving, she saw my sister with a bag, and it was just a little small little black bag, like a book bag, and
you can carry it as a purse too.
You could carry it as a purse, and I had just purchased it for her a week prior. She asked for it, and I bought it off Amazon, and I gave it to her. And my mom was like, what are you doing? Where are you going? And she was like, nowhere. So, excuse me, the first thing was the lie, the fact that she said nowhere. So she never had a reason to, if I'm leaving, I'm leaving. So the first thing was that she lied and said she wasn't going anywhere. So she must have packed her bag and everything. My mom looked, and it was as if she snuck out, and she got in a red vehicle. Everybody said it was a red vehicle with two light-skinned or Mexican or Indian looking guys. My mom didn't see them. She just saw the red car pulling off. The neighbor has a camera on his door. So he saw, as a matter of fact, he was coming in as the car was leaving. So he got a look at the drivers, which is where we got the description of the males from and how many. So he was leaving out. He saw that. But on his camera, he caught, he saw everything. And based off of what he said the car looked as if it was like going forward and going back and going forward, like it was like a struggle maybe, because why would a car do that?
Mm-hmm.
And they lived in the country part of Chirral, which is where they call it Cache. So it's like a big open field area. So the car, was going forward, and it looked like it was like shifting, going back and forward. That was the last time anybody saw her, apparently. And as we said, it was actually April 30th. My mom thought it was the 29th, but when we did research, we looked at the last time we talked to each other, it was actually April 30th.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. She did tell the police the 29th. It was actually the 30th. The third strange thing is she would never leave before her check comes. She's mentally disabled, so she gets a check every month. My mother lets her have free reign with it. She gives it to her. She does what she wants with it. She would never leave a day before, maybe the day of or the day after, but the day before.
She would definitely come back to collect
it. And she would definitely come back to collect it. Never show back up. It has been months. So we definitely know something's not right.
And she doesn't work. She's never worked. She doesn't have any money. Also, she receives government assistance. She receives food stamps. I was able to actually call, and I noticed that there's been no transactions on her food stamp card since the day before she went missing.
So the 29th.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That was the last activity.
Okay. And there hasn't been any since then?
No.
None whatsoever.
Have a cell phone?
That was another strange thing. So, with all the things that we were able to compile, to put together, it was off of a phone that she left, an old phone that she left. So she's notorious for getting new phones for whatever reason. I don't know if she breaks them, loses them. They're cheaper phones. So she apparently left with the phone that was turned off the next day. So was it the next day?
Well, I know when I tried to call, it was turned off. I believe Mommy also said it wasn't. I think it just went to voicemail.
So
Straight to voicemail.
the first day that she was missing into the second day, it would just ring. After that, it went to voicemail, and then some days later, it was just off.
Yes.
Okay,
It's like it would call, it would beep a few times, and then it would disconnect.
So the phone, so her active, most recent phone was that phone that we're talking about now. She left her old phone that my mother had access to, and it was, I don't know if it was the phone before the current one she had, or if it was a phone after that, but one of the latter phones where it wasn't activated, but it still had information on it. So that's how we were able to get a lot of the information from Facebook, from social groups. We were able to go on her phone, and we feel like the kidnappers or whoever was involved wasn't counting on that, because that's how we were able to kind of link stuff together based off of the activity in her old phone. So we feel like when they took her phone and turned it off.
And there was some suspicious activity on that phone the day before she went missing that we were able to find.
Would you like to talk about that, or you don't have to?
Yeah.
To what was found on the phone that raised eyebrows and made it suspicious?
So for one, her Facebook page, because it's Facebook, so it's not linked to one particular phone, we were able to go in to see her recent conversations and stuff. And it was conversations with certain people that we feel like were, what do you call it? Fake people or fake profile.
Catfishing.
Catfishers.
Yes.
We felt like they were catfishers. So it was conversations like that, where she was asked, what was it? Let's see.
Asking for money.
Asking for money. In addition to that was the fact that her account, maybe around that same time or a little before, someone added their email address and phone number to her account to get access.
2 days before. It was on April 28th.
2 days before she went missing.
An unidentified person linked their email address and phone number to her account.
Have the police looked into those phone numbers and email addresses?
Yes. The problem is the person whose name it is, he's a senior, there's a junior. They talk to the senior. So the information...
The junior's closer to my sister's age.
And the junior is closer to my sister's age. So they talk to the senior, and the senior's like, I don't know anything about that. So they talked to the wrong guy.
And they never went back to
we tried to tell him that, searched his house. And of course you would let him search your house because you don't know anything. You're innocent, you have nothing, the senior.
Right.
So they searched his house and everything. There was nothing there because it was the wrong guy.
And I also want to note that I was on the phone with my mom when she was at the sheriff's department with the phone, telling them and trying to show them what we found on Facebook. And they didn't take the phone. They didn't look through it, from my understanding.
Then there was another young lady who was also linked. So in addition to the guy that was a senior, was a young lady, what's her name? Cynthia Harrington. Was that her last name? They shared something. Either they shared the same last name or set of friends.
And I'm sorry. What I was going to say was that they actually called the person who's the senior. They called the senior, and they told him, they asked him if they could come and search his house. So he also knew beforehand that they were coming. I just want to point that out.
So if there was anything, he had time to...
Exactly.
It wasn't just a pop-up.
Exactly.
Now, did they ever... you said they didn't go through that Facebook.
No.
Okay, so they wouldn't have figured it out. But did you all figure out which account may have been the one that picked her up?
We believe it's that account. We believe. And I know that she was meeting people on Facebook. I think that was her preference as far as, dating or meeting people on Facebook.
Has anyone tried to contact maybe the email address?
I think I may have reached out to them. I didn't get a response.
So we've had, so one of the girls' names is, I'm going to say
Cynthia, maybe?
Sakithia Cash.
Oh, I don't know.
Weird, right?
So the phone number actually traced back to her name.
That's what it was.
That's what the
The phone
phone.
number traced back to her name.
So,
There's
yeah.
another guy's email address attached.
Now, was she ever talked to by police or anyone?
They said that they went to her house a couple of times and she wasn't there. So they haven't spoken to her.
Mm-hmm. Everything we gave them, they said they did something with, but nothing ever came back from it.
And I sent him screenshots of everything that we found on Facebook as well. I sent him everything that we found.
Now, her current phone, was that a minute phone or did it have a plan to it to where it could be pinged?
It was a straight talk phone.
Mm-hmm. And most of them were. So they asked us to go to the carrier and maybe they could pull it that way. But we were like, everything was like a not disposable, but straight talk, little cheap.
Mm-hmm.
There was no
The burner phones.
the burner phones. Like there was nowhere to.
Yep. And I just want to make sure I heard correctly.
Yes.
The police told you to go to the carrier?
Yes. They told us everything that there was to do, they told us to do it.
And I also want to mention, my mother was pushing really hard for them to maybe get a subpoena to go through her phone that she left with. What he told my mother and myself too is that the process would take about 2 weeks. They would have to get the subpoena from the judge. Basically, it seemed like it wasn't worth it because of the time that it would take, and that was never done.
And 2 weeks is long gone now.
Yes.
Exactly. Even down to the cameras, when we asked them to look at the cameras, they were like, at first they made it seem like they couldn't do it.
Because
Like,
of manpower.
and then eventually they brought it down to that. They didn't have the manpower. But when we stayed on them about it, like calling, texting, steady reaching out, they said they did it and didn't see anything. So we don't know if they did or not.
Mm-hmm.
So you said that there was a Ring camera at the neighbor's house. Was there any other surveillance footage of her anywhere?
That was it.
Okay.
Were you able to personally see that surveillance video?
No, because at first we could never get up with the homeowner because, like I said, we didn't stay there. My mom ended up leaving because she was afraid. She was like, if they took my daughter from here, maybe, and they know I'm looking for her, and because we've been on news shows and all kind of stuff, social media, like we had posters and flyers up everywhere, and everything had the address.
Yeah.
So my mom was like, I'm not staying here for them to come back,
Especially since we believe that something nefarious has happened.
Mm-hmm.
She just didn't feel safe.
She didn't feel safe.
Out of her own home.
Mm-hmm. So periodically we would go back to check on things, and if we could catch the neighbor, we would. And it was like always in passing. I think when we talked to him, I think he said the camera didn't get the tag. So yeah. So I guess he felt like, well, it didn't catch the tag because the car, I don't know, I guess the angle of the camera, it saw the car, but couldn't catch the tag because his house is facing this way. My mom's house is facing this way. So when it pulled out like this, but his camera's facing this way. Mm-hmm. So it's like it just barely missed the tag, just got the car.
Was the car ever identified, the make and model of it?
So we got two different stories. So the one consistent thing we know is that it was a 4-door red vehicle, red car. We heard it was a Kia, like could have been a Kia, and then the other one was what, like a
Kia Soul.
Like a Kia Soul, and then somebody said it was more boxy because the Kia Souls aren't boxy.
The Kia Soul
is boxy?
Is the boxy
It is
one.
boxy, but the
Okay.
Kia is boxy as well.
Okay.
And also, you have the Honda Elements, but they don't make them no more. But they're still around.
Yeah. So that was like the only thing that was consistent with that was red.
And 4-door.
And 4-door
was also okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an actual photo of the vehicle or?
No.
Okay.
No.
Now,
I didn't even think to get a photo. I guess I was thinking about the description.
Yeah.
And I was like, Kia Soul, got it, you know?
Yeah.
right. Well, with Kia Souls, me and my husband being a mechanic, is one of the biggest stolen vehicle on the market. And they won't even insure them anymore because it's so stolen, and that's why I was curious if it was a Kia Soul.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yep. It's you can actually steal it with a phone charger.
Right. Well, the
Are
phone
you
chargers?
serious?
Yeah, with a phone charger.
Wow.
I would never buy one.
Yeah, don't ever buy one because you'll never.
After they started doing that with the Hyundais and the Kias,
Yeah.
the Kia boys and all of that,
Yeah.
I knew I would never buy another one. My Kia was broken. My Hyundai, I had 2 Hyundais. They both were broken into.
Yep.
And they tried to steal them. They were never able to take them, but they tried to take them.
Oh, jeez.
Yes. I knew at that point I would never get another one.
Now, the men she got in the car with, they were never identified, right?
Never. So more recently, like a couple weeks ago to maybe a month ago, someone said that some guys that fit that description, they were Mexicans, stay in Chihuahua, like in a certain area. So they were like, and they've been known for doing, you know, underhanded stuff. And then I had a friend recently send me a picture of some guys in Fayetteville that have been proven to be traffickers. Where is it? Proven to be traffickers.
And that's Fayetteville, North Carolina.
North Carolina. These
Actually
guys
just
right
got
here.
arrested not too long ago in North Carolina.
Maybe these were the guys.
Yeah, two
Oh,
times.
Yeah.
Kidnap the teenager.
Two teenagers. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And they're close. They're in Fayetteville. And we're from Fayetteville, so
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah. Now, junior or senior, do you know if either of them have a red vehicle, four-door vehicle?
That I don't know.
we don't know. Another ironic, crazy twist is there was a guy who lived, was it a red truck or red car that the guy she was talking,
Car.
red car?
Mhm.
So there is a guy who my sister was talking to before these guys that lived in Chiraw who had a vehicle that matched that description. So we told the police, and what happened was a good friend of hers that she used to go to her house a lot, they would meet there. So her and the guy would meet at her friend's house. So she finally told us, hey, you know, he has a car too that matches that description. So did they go there? Do
They
you know?
did go there.
They went there and they didn't find anything, but he matched the description. And someone said that the guy was a trucker. He's a trucker. So we heard 2 different versions. Before we heard the 2 Indian Mexican looking light skinned guys, we heard the guy had a red car, a red small car, and he was a trucker. So the cops went there. They said they didn't find anything. Then that's when we heard that story from the neighbors, the 2 guys that fit that description. So also the guy who was a trucker, one of my cousins know him. So he went to talk to him. I said, can you just go over and talk to him, see what you can find out? And he went and talked to him. He said he hadn't seen my sister in a long time. That was a lie. So he said he hadn't seen her like months and months and months. But that was a lie. I don't know if it was her friend that told us, but he had just came to see her not too long ago. So he had saw her way more recent than what he said. That was the first lie. Secondly, he had the same name as
The same last name.
the same last
as the
name,
person who attached.
their email to her. So it's like a lot of linkage. There's a lot of stuff that was just linked together. They had the same last name.
Yeah.
Brian was
Did he give a statement to the police?
Yes, he said he didn't know anything. He hadn't seen her for months and months and months, which was a lie.
Have they talked? They only talked to him the one time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know
That
if
we
his-
know of.
Okay. Do you know if his story ever changed, or if he ever told another story?
Mm-mm. Yeah, we don't know.
And I forgot to mention too that there was other suspicious activity on her phone. It looks like on May 12th, someone had logged into that account,
Mm-hmm.
onto the Facebook account that we had access to.
Did it give a location? Because sometimes it usually does.
So it said that it was somewhere around the Charlotte area.
Charlotte,
But I
North
know-
Carolina.
Mhm. But I know sometimes that's not accurate.
Mm-hmm.
They have gotten a lot better with it.
On the way out here, I was at home and I logged into, I don't remember what it was, and it said that I was in South Carolina. And I was at home in Tennessee, and I was like, how do you know I'm going to South Carolina?
Right. Questions.
And I have that here. This login.
Okay.
Yeah, we have
Yeah, so it was logged in on.
we have
This
the people.
I took a picture of the phone on May 12th.
Okay. Now,
We
did
have
she
the
have that
people's-
kind of phone? Or.
No.
No, she didn't have that type of phone. It was a Galaxy A03.
Absolutely not.
That's the wrong
Did it
one.
say-
I'm sorry. The Galaxy A03 was hers. My apologies.
No worries.
I have. Okay, there was a Vortex device that signed in May 6th.
May 6th.
What is a Vortex device? And that is at Charlotte, North Carolina, at 6:22 a.m. on the May 6th.
Now, the Galaxy A03, that is the phone.
That is her phone?
That's this phone right here.
Oh, okay.
Yep, but the Vortex, we don't know what that is.
I'm actually really curious right now.
That is, it's like almost sounds like a gaming type device, you know?
Mm.
I gave that to the police. I was hoping maybe they could try to track an IP address.
Yeah, did they
Right.
ever get any IP addresses from anything?
No.
No. It is a tablet, apparently. Vortex tablet. It is with stand-up wireless. So I don't know if they would be able to figure out something.
Right.
It's a what now?
It's a tablet, and it's
wow.
through stand-up wireless.
Wow.
So it's kind of like a straight talk service.
Service tablet, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so
that
I
would
don't know
make
if they would
sense.
be able to pull anything of location of where it logged in at. I mean, you have the time and date, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting close to that year mark, and I don't know how long they keep things, so I would definitely try to talk
Right.
to them prior to May 6th.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Even if you have to do it on your own.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm trying to make sure I haven't missed anything.
nope, you're good. I
Yeah.
got some questions still.
Yeah,
so.
me too. I'm like, we got pictures of everybody that's in question.
On your Facebook page or
Some things through other people's Facebook pages because these people that we're talking about that share the same last name, they run in the same circle. They're friends with some of our family because Chirral is so small, like everybody.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody is linked to somebody some kind of way. So I literally followed the trail.
yeah.
So I pulled some stuff off of their page and off of my family's pages. Yeah.
Now the car has never been found. The car that
No.
I just wanted to make sure that was
That would be great. Maybe we
Yeah.
can find something that way.
Did police ever come to her house, mom's house, and look through her room or her belongings or anything like
Did they?
that?
No, they didn't
I-
look through her things. No.
The
They
only
just came
thing,
to talk to my mom.
and the only thing they ever came to the house to do after I fussed and cried and begged and pleaded and sent a nice little text message saying that they were basically being inconsiderate and non-sympathetic, and I would pray that you would carry this like it was your own family. That's when they agreed to get a search party together to do a search. So they came to the yard for us to start a search, but it was only along the rim of the highway going basically all of Highway 52 from Cache to Chirral. That was all it consisted of, and it was only the side of the road, so it wasn't a thorough search.
There's a lot of rural.
A lot.
A lot of rural, excuse me, area out there too. They said that was private property, so we couldn't search.
So I did. I got in my car. Some days
I would
later.
have done it too, but yeah.
Some days later, and I videoed her. I was on video. I was like, look, this is my last place. If I go missing, I need someone to know the last. And lo and behold, one of the owners came and met me as I was coming out. And when I was coming out, he was like, hey, do you know? And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm looking for my sister. He knew exactly what I was talking about. He was like, oh, yeah, I know. I heard. He said he and his family was doing their own search. and that they were searching the area to try to find her. Pray he was telling the truth, but that's what he said. He was like, yeah, they was looking too.
Do you know if
Yeah.
the police ever brought out drones or dogs or anything?
We were told when they came to do the search that they were going to do the drones and they were going to do the dogs, and the news team was coming. What happened was the news team didn't make it in time for the search. The news team did a drone. So they did theirs, but the police didn't. And the police ended up not bringing the dogs because they said in order to do the dogs, they had to have a specific area in question. So it couldn't be like, we're guessing, we're just coning this area. They had to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that in this area, there could possibly be something.
Right.
But they told you before
that they were bringing the dogs.
Now, would she normally get into people, not into people, would she normally get into cars with people she didn't know?
So I'm going to say I could see her doing that. She has done that before. The difference was she didn't tell anyone. That was the significant, important detail about this situation, because she has done it, but she'll tell somebody. She has a favorite cousin that she tells everything to. She'll call and be like, hey, hey, my mom, I'm going to such and such. Or if my mom is there, she'll tell her, I'm going to be gone for 2 days. I'm going with, and she'll know their names. So it's like, if she met them as a stranger, by the time she left with them, she would know their names. She would know where they stay, and someone else would know. It would never be like a ghost or spur of the moment, random. I don't know anything y'all don't know. It would never be like that. So that was the major difference.
Did she talk to her cousin about this time?
Mm-mm.
No.
nothing at all.
No one, nothing. That's what was so eerie about the whole thing.
And that's what makes me feel that maybe she was coerced, because
Exactly.
We've thought about, was she voluntarily missing, but that doesn't make sense. She had no reason to be. Like the family, we just took a cross-country trip together as a family.
That was so fun.
Like I said, she doesn't have any money. I just don't see any reason why she would voluntarily be missing.
Right.
And there's no way, again, she would leave her money. There's no, and the day before.
That was like the highlight of her month. I mean, because she lived in a small town, there wasn't much to do. She was excited to get her money.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it's once a month.
Once a month, yeah.
Mm-hmm. When you were able to get into her phone, did you find any messages or anything between her that the cousin did not know about?
No, because everything with her, like I said, like my sister, she was, mentally disabled,
She
medically.
Much discretion,
She
so
does.
She was pretty much an open book.
She knew exactly where I was going. She was an open book. She had no reason to lie. She had no reason to hide anything. If we didn't like it, we didn't like it. She would just be like, oh well, yeah.
I'm doing it anyway.
I'm doing it anyway.
It's so weird that she wouldn't say where she was going.
Exactly.
Right.
At all.
Unless she was told.
Specifically in Swindle, because while she was vivacious and liked to enjoy men, she also has the mind of a 12-year-old when it comes to some things. So she can easily be fooled, like easily. Like I can literally put together a dialogue of what someone could have told her to make her do that. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Lashaunda, we're going to have a good time. Don't tell your mom. I can hear, you know what I mean? Don't tell your mom, don't tell who. I can see them asking her stuff like, she's like, oh yeah, don't call your cousin this time. Let's wait till we get there and then we'll surprise them. I can see them coming up with all kinds of stuff, to manipulate her into not. And then as soon as she get in the car, lock the door, take her phone, and that's it. Because she would never leave a day before. And that was the kicker for me, like the fact that it was the day right before. It wasn't like it was 2 weeks before. You know what I mean?
Right.
You had one more day to get your check.
Yeah.
And you could have lived it up with whoever you were with. One more day, the next day to get your check.
And when she did get her check, did she usually Was she usually out of money by the time the check hit, or do you think when she left, she had a little bit of cushion?
Absolutely not. It was the first thing. She was out by day 2, like she never had
My
anything.
mom would get on her about that. You need to save your money. She didn't have any savings.
Okay, all right.
No cushion, no wiggle room, no
I
nothing.
love how you both.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, it's gone. It's long gone by then.
By the same day, like just
Now, did she drive?
no.
Okay. Did she need to go somewhere that day that you know of?
If you say need, I will say no, because she's never really had a need. She wants,
Right.
yeah, but a need, no.
Okay.
Besides sisters and cousin, did she have any close friends that she would go and hang out with or anything like that?
That's the friend who gave us the first piece of information of the guy that she was talking to that had the red car.
Okay.
So she's the one who gave us the first, piece of something, not willingly, mind you. It's not like she came forward and was like, hey, da da da. My mom had to go to her several times. So that was like the first suspicious thing. Like, this is your good friend. Your good friend. Like my sister, she stayed with her for what, weeks at a time?
Days for sure.
Days for sure. She would be there in Chirac. My mom and my sister live in Cash. The friend stays in Chirac. She would, you notice I said it both ways in one sentence. So she would go and stay the night with her friend for days at a time, almost a week. So why wouldn't you divulge this information sooner if you know your friend is missing and it's been reported and it's on flyers and it's on the news? Because we've done several news interviews, that the assailant, is that what they call him, had a red small car.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy that she was seeing at your house had a red small car. So that was the first thing that was kind of odd.
We definitely believe that someone or people know something but aren't saying anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Now I know you said you didn't get the license plate number, but was even the corner of it visible so you could see the color?
I never saw it. I wish I would have saw the footage myself. I never saw the footage. And you know how it is when you're talking to someone, they've already given us all of this information and they're like, we hope you find. I don't know. I wasn't the one who talked to him. My mom was. I don't know what I don't know if it was I don't want to really get any more involved type thing.
Right.
But I just know that he told my mom and my mom told me that he said it didn't catch the tag. He just saw it leaving out. And he only saw, the guys for sure because he was pulling in.
Mm-hmm.
So as he was pulling in, the car was pulling out.
Okay.
So that's how I was able to identify the drivers. But I'm assuming that the angle of the camera because the highway is here, and his house is back here,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom's house is facing this way.
Okay.
So when they pulled out like this,
Okay.
and his camera's here.
Gotcha.
So it makes me feel like maybe it just, maybe that was how or why, but I don't know.
Right.
Her friend that she would go stay with, did you happen to notice that she would go over and hang out with her on the times that she would get her check?
It was at different times. This, I don't know what, when I say this, she was at her house all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So she would be during the check, after the check, in between the check. Okay. She was just always there. Okay. Yeah.
Did she ever mention that if she was scared of anybody that she had met on? Nobody.
No. That was another thing I was going to say when we were talking about her just giving any information. She didn't have no reason to hide or to mask anything. She was very sociable and she was very friendly. Like, everybody loved my sister. If you met her, you would just fall in love. Like, she got along with everybody. So it was
no enemies.
No known enemies for sure. She was such a lively, friendly, likable person. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you had mentioned that she had mental disabilities. Other than that, did she have any medical diagnoses or on any type of medication at all?
Well, when she was younger, she was on Ritalin. You know, she had ADHD. So in addition to, you know, being mentally disabled, she was hyperactive. I don't know if they always go hand in hand or not. Okay.
So.
Okay. So yeah, very hyperactive. As she, it's weird because I never thought about it before, but as an adult, she never took medication, right? I don't know when she stopped. I don't know if it was right after school, because you know in school you have to.
Yeah.
You have to be on that. So I don't know if it was right after school. I don't know if she just didn't have to take it anymore because it felt like she was manageable as far as not taking it, or if she just decided not. I'm not sure, but I know I can't think of the last time I've ever seen her take it. But she was definitely still ADHD. Definitely still on a youth level.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
She had adult desires, but still had a child mentality. I can say it that way. Because like she loved to eat, so she was able to cook. She cooked and cooked well. I mean, she cooked for us all the time. She cooked for the family. She's a good cook. You wouldn't want to leave her in the house by herself to cook and stay gone because she may forget to turn off the stove. It could burn the house down type thing. You see what I'm saying?
Right, absolutely.
Which has happened before. But yeah, so it's like she could do some things, but still. Yeah.
Watching the check situation.
Yeah.
You want me to ask it in a certain way?
Yeah, so we got information that someone attempted to cash a check in her name on 2 occasions. This was around the time that she went missing. Apparently her name was on the check and someone else's name was on the check.
Was what they told us initially.
So that written to 2 individuals.
Another individual.
A guy.
Because my sister got paper checks and she would have to have my mother there to cash it. So it was her name and my mother's name. But it looks like someone altered the child, made a fake check and put maybe their name, maybe it was a bogus name, along with my sister's. Had the dollar amount correct, I'll say.
Of what she would normally get.
Where was this attempted at?
That we don't know.
And this is the crazy part. So like my sister said, she got paper checks. It went to the post office box. So by the time we went and checked the post office box, which was way later, because we're engulfed in my sister, where's my sister, what's going on. So this was way later.
Initially, they said that it was an error with the state treasury, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
They said they might have printed out 2 checks.
To 2 different individuals.
But then when it happened again, then, that wasn't the case.
And
It was
when it
some-
happened again, was it the following month?
No, it wasn't the following month, whether it was months down the line. So what happened was, so like we said, she would get paper checks. It would go to the post office box. So way later, there he goes running again. Way later, when we finally checked the post office box, the check was still in the mailbox. So that's what makes us feel like they, it was they created a, or whatever. Yeah. Because it wasn't that one. That one was still in the mailbox.
Actual check. It was a
Yeah.
fake check.
It was a fake check. Yeah.
I gave it to police because, of course, there's cameras everywhere. We can't go and request this information. I believe we would have to have a warrant.
Right.
And the police would have to do it. But from my understanding, they've not looked into it.
And they never figured out where they were trying to cash it?
So originally what they told my mom, when she told them, they told my mom that what we just said, that it was a state treasury who who issued the same check number on 2 different checks. So basically the guy who cashed it, so someone cashed it, the other person cashed it. So the guy who cashed it, he got his, this was the first thing that was told to us. The state treasury had the same number on both checks and the guy cashed his. So my sisters, by the time that came around and we presented that check, it looked as if, it looked as if it was, I guess what it ended up being told later, that somebody tried to forge the check. So originally we're not looking at it as a forgery. It looks like the Treasury messed up and put the same number on the check, right? So that's what we went with. We're like, okay, so my mother said, okay, stop the paper check and just let it go to a card, because this is after the first month. So we're still expecting, anticipating, praying my sister comes home, that she'll just walk through the door. I messed up, y'all. I'm sorry, something. So we're like, just let her go to the card, so that, and if it is foul play, that someone doesn't try to come back and try to, do something with a check, right? Because we don't know. They're saying it's the same number. We don't know that it's a check thing until months later when it happens again. That's when we realized that's probably what it was the first time, and that what they told us probably wasn't really it. Because
the person that has her.
So at this point, we're like, can we trace the check to see who this person is, where they are? Because wherever you're going to cash something, there has to be a camera.
Mm-hmm. Now,
so that's where we are.
Both attempts, did it have the same individual's name?
Do we know if it was the same?
That I'm not sure about.
We're not sure about that. We just know it happened a second time months later. And at this point, this is stuff that like my mom is telling us now, like we don't know directly. Mm-hmm. This is what she said. She's saying, I talked to them and they said this, because they've been telling her just monitor everything, make sure nobody else is going onto the card, because she has the card now. Make sure nobody else is going onto the card to XYZ. So just monitor everything. And at this point, when the money didn't hit like it normally does, my mom was like, hold on. So this thing happened again. So that's when we put two and two together. So we're trying to figure out how we can get the police or whoever to investigate, see who this is trying to cash this money.
Yeah, and I sent that to the police. He actually asked me to tell him where they attempted to cash the check. I don't know how.
We're like, we don't know. We need y'all to tell us.
And I have that text message actually.
That's more of a federal crime now, so you might be able to get the FBI.
I was just gonna
Good.
Because that's a federal crime.
Yep.
Good. That's good.
Because that's government money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
so-
And I surely hope that we could, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the government right now.
Right.
A lot of layoffs. So hopefully.
Right.
Early on, I did attempt to contact the FBI because I did feel that we weren't getting adequate assistance. They did take the report, but it didn't go any further.
Usually the police department has to ask for.
That's what we're
They
told.
SLED.
Yep.
Yep.
Which is why I also wanted to point out that there was a young lady, Alexis Ware, who's been missing since January 2022. Her family is pushing for the Alexis Ware Act. That will basically allow the family to request assistance directly from SLED instead of it being up to the discretion of the police department.
Because clearly that isn't working.
Yes, we need SLED's assistance.
Absolutely. All the times that she's got her checks, has there ever been any mishaps like that check thing before in the entire time she's got her checks?
Do you know of any?
No.
Just wanted to verify. Yeah,
So a lot of fishy business from top to bottom. Just
I would say. And none of this is online. I didn't find any of it.
No.
You don't
right,
find much information on her.
Right. That's why we can piece this together.
Thank
put
you
it
so
all
much.
together and-
I did an interview with a South Carolina news station within like the first week. And then like the next week, I think I did a second one with North Carolina station, and we were putting flyers up. And then I heard YouTube, somebody on YouTube, I heard they were sharing the story. And that was about it. It was like around that time frame when we were doing stuff. And then we kind of like just, tapered back and just started as a family just praying and fasting and stuff like that, because only because my mom felt not insecure. She felt, fearful, because she said she started having dreams where, because we were really pushing, we were about to get a billboard. Yep. We were going to put a billboard on 85.
She was worried it would backfire.
That it would backfire. She said she started getting dreams where we were hurt. Like attackers were coming after us because we were trying to find my sister. And we had some dreams. Well, I had one dream where I saw my sister and the person, they were pulling her. So I was trying to follow them because they were pulling her behind a building. And they looked me in my face and they was like, you better stop or else. Like, you better stop trying to find her or else.
We also received a threatening message on Facebook where
Yes.
someone told us that we better stop looking for her.
That too.
Who was that?
To you or
To us and
To
her
both of
husband. No, was it on my page?
I made a post
Okay.
about my sister being missing, and they came and commented. It looks
So-
like it might have been a bogus account, but
Still someone typed it.
Right, yeah. And you found it quick. And her husband is Caucasian. And so he knew, I'm not saying this is why he knew, but I'm just saying it may have some leverage. He knew of this group. Didn't he say they was a part of a group? The person who reached out? Hell's Angels.
Mm-hmm.
And he told us, he said that he believed they were part of this group. If not, if it wasn't a bogus.
That's really strange.
Mhm.
It's tagged someone's name. It says Willie Taylor. You better not fucking tell her
Mhm.
where she is. And then it says her name. And it says you need to stop looking for her.
And Willie sent me this message also saying that he saw that she's being held against her will, and that he attempted to reach out to law enforcement and tell them.
Who said that?
Willie, this guy. I think that was a bogus account, but this is what
Oh,
he told me.
yeah. Oh, and I got a couple too. Yeah, I got a couple too of people saying that they.
I am completely engulfed in this. I need to, that message saying, comment right there saying.
Did police ever talk to these people?
He said that he searched for Willie. Willie, this account's no longer active. It looks like he's deleted this account, which is why I said I don't know if it was a bogus account. Seemed like it could have been, but it could have been good information. Could have been someone.
Right, it could have been tracked.
Have you
Right
guys
then and there.
have you guys ever heard
I
of
sent
a
this to him directly as soon as I received it. I sent it to the police.
And nothing.
Nothing.
do y'all know what a crash dummy is?
Mhm.
So someone named Shamik, I can't tell if this is a guy or girl. So in one of the posts that I posted, that was his response. Crash dummy, I knew it, shaking my head. So I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I didn't know what that term was, but
It's definitely strange.
And so many people.
so many people that are linked some kind of way. It's
Right.
it's freaky.
It's like one big circle. Like, yeah, that's.
I had people tell me, if you give me X amount of money, I'll let you know where she is. I know where she. What was this one person? This one person told me they had some information. I forgot what they said.
And all of this has been turned over to law enforcement, and they just brush it off.
Pretty much.
He said that he looked through DMV records for this Willie Tallor, couldn't find him. So he did try to look for him.
But it could be a stage name,
Oh,
whatever,
yeah,
a street name,
absolutely.
whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to sit there and give out their real name.
And say things like that.
No.
Has there been a detective assigned to her case?
Yes.
Have you ever spoke to the detective?
Yes, that's the only person we've been talking to.
Yeah.
Do they keep you up to date on anything that's going on?
No, not at all. We had to reach out to him. My husband actually sort of taken over communicating with him.
Mhm.
A few days ago, once we got the information about the family that lives in Chirag, and they know something about the vehicle.
The Mexicans, right?
Yeah. He did say he went and he rode out there. He didn't actually speak to anybody. He was supposed to call my husband the next day, though, and let us know what happened. My husband actually had to call him a couple of days later. So they've not been keeping in touch with us.
That's all my questions.
That's all my questions, too.
Okay.
Is there anything you guys would like to add?
We're tired. I know I'm tired. Of course, I won't stop looking for her,
Right.
but we're tired. You know, I don't believe she deserved this. We certainly don't deserve this. It's been torturous for me. Just please, somebody please say something. Just please. This is hard.
And at this point, we're like, we just want to know where she is. You know, no matter in whatever condition or shape, we want and need closure. We don't want this thing to keep being drug out. You know what I mean? We're praying for her safe return. We just want to know where she is. Just let us know where she is. Let her come back, because we know she didn't leave her on her own. Like, it's definite. You know, we
still have to work. Life doesn't stop, you know?
Yeah.
We're left in this gray area, don't really know what to do. It's a terrible place to be.
It is. Some days you're okay. Some days you're not. It just hits you. And we can't I can't work. Sometimes I just cry all day. I have to wear glasses sometimes at work, my shades, because I just randomly cry. Like, it's a sucky place to be in. I wouldn't wish it on anybody.
Anybody with information can anonymously report that information to law enforcement,
Yes.
or to family, or to somebody.
Even us. We
Even
keep you
us.
anonymous.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Message us anonymously. We will handle it from there. But get
We
it off
have
your
to-
chest and say something and bring this family some sort of answers.
And we have the phone number here, the tip line. It's 843-287-0235.
And that is anonymous as well. Do y'all have a page set up for her at all, like a Facebook page? If not,
No,
it's okay. I just
Not
want
an official
plug it in there
page.
if-
We've just been, posting her on our personal Facebook pages.
and our profile pages, I have 2 pages. I think my sister has one. We literally have her profile, her picture and her flyer on our, as our profile, so that she doesn't get dismissed. If she doesn't go away, we can keep her on everybody's mind. She's literally our profile picture. So we can keep her relevant, keep her out there. And it's a whole flyer with the information as the profile picture.
Okay.